Hello, hello. Let me see if I'm live. Okay, where am I? Where's this? All right, looks like I'm live. How are you? It's Sunday. This is the first Sunday of the month. It's June. How are you? Okay, looks like I'm live. All right, welcome back. This is Ask Jason Anything Sunday live session. So if this is the first time you're watching this, my name is Jason. I'm from Malaysia. I'm a Facebook ads strategist. I've been doing this since 2010. So what I do here on every Sunday night, Malaysia time, 10 p.m., is I'm actually coming up here to go live on multiple places actually. First is my YouTube channel, which is later on is also being repurposed as a podcast on YouTube as well. I'm also going live on my Facebook presences, my LinkedIn presence, and these are all the places that I go live. So basically, what I do here is I answer questions about Facebook advertising. So if you have any Facebook ads related questions, here's what I want you to do. Okay, if you have any Facebook ads related questions, the first thing you do is you go to my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Jason Gan. All right, and then after that, you try to look for an answer over there because I've actually answered 900 over videos. I actually posted 900 over videos, mainly about answering questions, mainly actually edited from answering questions like this. So if you have, I mean, chances are I probably have answered your question before, so you can actually, try to search for an answer first, right? If you can't find anything, don't worry. All you need to do is just ask your question, post your questions as a comment on my any of my YouTube videos, and I'll be actually bring it up over here on Sunday night to answer your questions live like this. Do not expect me to reply to your comment in text because I personally do not prefer communication via back and forth texting. I guess the best way is let me just tell you the entire situation that whatever I think. But if you want me to answer your question one on one, just in case you say that Jason, I know that you're doing this, it's awesome, but I want to ask you some, like questions in private. I want to spend time with you for half an hour, okay? And then you can raise any questions over here. So I just want to bring that up. Just any one of you, in case if you're if you're listening to the podcast, just go back to the YouTube video version of it and scan this QR code if you want to speak to me for half an hour. So basically, this will bring you to my Fiverr gig. Very straightforward. You just need to buy me a mail, and eventually you'll be able to schedule a 30-minute Zoom call with me. And over the Zoom call, you can share a screen, you can ask any questions you have, you can show me anything you want, and yeah, we can discuss anything about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So that's what we do, right? Okay, now I'm going to go through some of the questions, okay? And I can see like Junior is here, Arkham is here, hi. And for those questions, or for those who are live here, if you have any questions, you can post them just on the comment itself, and I'll bring it up later on, okay? Once I finish all the questions that I've collected on the channel itself, and I'll come back to your questions. So please stay until the end. All right, I'll actually come back to your question after this. Okay, so the session is called Ask Jason Anything. It happens every Sunday night at 10 p.m. So if you want to join me live, just join me live every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Malaysia time. Okay. Now, first question. Wait, let me see. The first question is not a question actually. This is coming from social media, and he was posting on my video about my, this is actually a video that I talk about steps to create Facebook ads for mobile app installs. And then he actually suggested to change the title to "Should we run Facebook ads with SDK or without SDK?" Good suggestion. But actually, this video has been around for a long time. I promise I'll spend some time to go through the content again. If it's relevant, I will accept your suggestion and change it because I actually received more questions about that as well along the way. I mean, on and off about advertising for mobile apps with Facebook ads. It's actually Facebook advertising combining Facebook and Instagram is actually one of the best places for you to promote your mobile apps. Okay, and yes, my question is you need to actually install SDK in order to optimize the outcome and make the most out of your Facebook advertising for your mobile apps. However, this is really something that requires a little bit of technical stuff that you need to work with your technical team to implement this. And remember, Facebook SDK or Meta SDK right now actually is a very fast evolving application, especially now after the iOS 14.5. You really need to do that. Otherwise, you'll be losing a lot of data. And there are certain rules applied as well. Like, for example, you can't run more than X number of ad sets or campaigns within the ads manage or the ad account that you have for a mobile app. There are certain limitations because there are, actually a lot of people kind of misuse the Facebook advertising for the mobile apps, and Facebook is trying to implement a lot of restrictions over here. So yeah, so thank you, social media. Okay, and you're saying that you searched for a lot of videos, but you found mine. Thank you for watching. Thank you for contributing to my slightly, I mean, it's increasing, but I'm not complaining. My YouTube ad revenue. Thank you so much. That pays my rent. All right. Okay. Now, so that's thanks, social media. The next question is a follow-up question from Viv Games. Okay, so I answered his question in the last AMA, and he replied with another question that says, basically, should you start a ad account in your existing profile of Business Manager, or do you need to grab someone else's profile and make an ad account there? Okay, now I remember with your problem is you are being restricted permanently from advertising on Facebook at the profile level. Remember, okay, these kind of permanent restrictions on Facebook involves multiple levels. It depends on where you are. Like, some people are actually being restricted on the page level. That's the easiest. You just need to create a new page and everything will be up and running again. Now, some people are actually being restricted at the Business Manager level. That's a toast as well. And ad account also, it's a bad thing. And the profile is actually the rooters, which is the bottom of it, whereby you won't be able to do anything on Facebook about advertising ever again. Meaning that profile, in my opinion, is actually as good as useless right now. But you can still do whatever you want with your friends, commenting, posting, and stuff like that. Just that you're not allowed to run ads. So if you want to run ads again, my recommendation is get somebody else's profile. You do not create a new profile. Usually when you create a new profile, I would say 50% of, not 50%, 90% of time, the moment you start running ads or try to create a business manager or an ad manager, you will be restricted. Okay, and I would say certain percentage of my clients from certain countries were able to get through that, but huge percentage of them do not go through that stage, and they will have their new profile being banned and restricted permanently again. So it's a dead end over here at this point of time as we're making this video, right? So if you want to get something back up again, all you need to do is, I would say, get somebody else's profile. It's not a new one, but it has been around for a while, and then get that to create a new business manager, new page, and new ad account, and start running ads. Yeah, that's it. That's it. But if you want me to look into your case, like I said, it would be best if you actually let me see what are you at right now, where are you at right now, and if you are actually also watching this, you have some similar situation, and you're not sure whether you are having a profile restricted, ad account restricted, business manager restricted. So what can you do next? What's the next best step to take in order to get your advertising on Facebook and Instagram up and running again? You can actually scan this QR code. Okay, this will bring you to my Fiverr profile, and there is a gig that you can actually pay very minimal amount, buy me a mail, and we'll be able to spend half an hour together to look into your situation, where you can come up over Zoom, share your screen, tell me your problems, and I'm actually going to walk you through the steps and tell you what really is your situation and what can you do next to get your advertising up and running again. So scan this QR code and we can do that together. All right. Thank you so much. And now let's see. Okay, so this is coming from 1226 City. He actually commented this after the EMA last week, and he was so excited because he said, look at it. He said, like you mentioned that you were launching your ads and you made your first sale in the 24 hours and it stopped there. You ran the ads for 72 hours. So you gave me some metrics and all that, to be frank. Although I do provide services to analyze your campaign. So any one of you who are watching this, right, just in case if you need help, right, you can actually scan this QR code, this one instead. All right, this will lead you to another gig of mine on Fiverr, where specifically this is for me to analyze your campaign. So if you have campaign, use this. All right, you can actually read the reviews over there, how all these people actually find their solution, or so-called the action plan after reviewing their campaign with me. So yeah, this is only for those with campaign. If you do not have campaign, then you can actually go for the ask question anything. But if you do, use this. So this is where I will be able to give you recommendation, okay, based on your case. But over here, although 1226 actually share his metric, I do not analyze your metric like this over here. That's not what I do. But based on an overall number, looking at it, as long as you get sales, right? So that's supposed to be a campaign that is working. But guess what? He actually followed up another comment 2 days later, and he said your first campaign was not successful. So you say you spend $10 over in 5 interests. You want to create a new campaign with a new product. Your budget is still 10. How many interests should you have in maximum? Now, here's what I think. All right, since you actually gave me a very definitive answer that your campaign was not successful, my question to you would be, why? Why do you think is or was your campaign not successful? Based on what metric you actually diagnosed that your campaign was not successful? Was it because of the audience? Was it because of the creative? Was it because of the product? And was it because you're actually testing it for too short period of time, or you actually spread your budget over too many so-called ad sets that you're looking at, right? You're trying to target multiple interests and ad sets. You see, when it comes to Facebook advertising, if you have time, go back to my YouTube channel. I actually did a training a while ago about how to build a success. I mean, what makes a good Facebook ads campaign? Over there, I shared the skeleton or the structure that what makes a good Facebook ads campaign. Essentially, it actually involves 4 main pillars, but basically, it's about being able to send the right message, being the creative, to the right people, being the audience targeting, and get them to take the right action, okay, being the objective, with the right strategy, being the strategy in place that connects everything together. So there are many moving parts, okay, when a campaign is not working. Here's what I think. Based on my experience working with thousands of Facebook advertisers from all around the world, I'd say 90% of time when you have a so-called non-successful campaign, nobody actually bothered to dive in and find out what happened. Nobody bothered to just try to figure out what mistake you made so that you can actually fix it or avoid making the same mistake in the future. Most people would do is they just throw away the campaign and start all over again. They would believe that it must be the audience, it must be the creative, it must be the product, but without any support. Don't you think this is a very dangerous thing to do? Because what you're doing right now is actually making decision based on your gut feeling. You are not being backed up by any data or facts about your campaign. So that's why I always say, do not make decision based on your gut feeling. It's very important to learn how to analyze your campaign. Otherwise, you will be actually this is like a hamster wheel for you, you're always running the same thing again, you'll come back to the set up the new creative, so-called new creative, but similar to the old one, because you believe this might work, and you just run it, and after a while you stop working, you'll believe that, it could be because of the audience. But in fact, here's what I think, okay? If you're running any business, in any products that you're selling, okay, the audience who are interested in it are always the same. Just like I won't be able to sell, let's say, a certain product. Let's say I won't be able to sell a bra to men. I mean, not most of the time. It's actually people who need it will be women, most of them. So you have to really understand what is really the problem that is causing a campaign to fall apart so that you can actually fix it. That's why when it comes to creative also, in most of my cases, most of my clients having a long running creative that actually can run for even the other day, I was just looking at it, right? 1 year without changing creative, without changing audience targeting. Because as long as it works, it works. If it doesn't, find out. That's what I think. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to be hamster wheel for you over again. You're going to be in the loop. Never stop, and you do not know what are you doing right or wrong. That's why any one of you who run ads and you are kind of like having a feeling that your campaign is not working, my recommendation is try to find out. Sorry, not this. Okay, scan this QR code, buy me a mail. I mean, it's not expensive. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend half an hour together to dive into your campaign. And I'll give you, I'll analyze your campaign. I'll give you action plan. What is the next best thing you can do to get your campaign, optimized and to get better result out of it? That's why I say whether you have a good campaign or a bad campaign, you got to learn. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep on optimizing it and get consistent result. That's what we want. Okay. All right. 1226. I hope that helps. All right. Thank you for your question and for your sharing. Now, the next one is coming from Frank. Frank is saying the problem is that the request review is already done, kind of, but it turns around and around. No status updates. Been 1 month. Is there any Facebook group for help? To be frank, you can actually keep looking. There are none. Okay, because Facebook is really, really not doing a good job in helping, solving this problem, or maybe they're just too many. They don't have enough manpower to settle all this, to handle all this. There are certain things you can actually check based on your situation. Now, what I want you to do is, Frank, go into your account quality and really check the status of it, because you see, here's the steps, right? When you have an account being flagged, what they will ask you to do first, let's say you have a Facebook Ads Manager restricted. You go into the account quality. Usually the first step is they want you to submit your ID, which is to get your personal restriction lifted first. So you submit your ID. Okay, once you submit your ID, they will come back to you within like 48 to 72 hours, and they will tell you, oh, you're approved. Usually they won't tell you that you are approved or you are not approved. They'll just, change the status and it's still in there. So go into your account manager to see the old restriction is being removed already or not. So if it's been removed, then you have to request review again for your ad account. The steps is like that. That's why once you get your profile verified, the ad account is still restricted. You need to request again. That's why you need to do that manually. Facebook is not helping you with that. So try to go into the account manager and figure out what are the next steps that they are pointing you to. That's what I think. Yeah, because to be frank, this is a very, very unique situation. Not everybody has it. And when it comes to restriction, different people would have different situation anyway. So if you want me to look in that, Frank, you can scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and we can actually look into your situation in half an hour time. You can share your screen over Zoom call, and I'll be able to just, navigate for you, with you. Inside there, we try to figure out what are the next steps you can do. Whether you still have chance to get it back or you do not have chance to get it back anymore, at least you have an answer, isn't it? So at least we can move forward, because, what we want is really about getting the ads up and running again. I don't really care about the profile or the page or whatever. Really, that's why we need to actually have a very fast turnaround and action about this thing. We need to do that. Okay, so Frank, that's that. Next, we have one coming from Nasruddin. So Nas was saying your business account was restricted. It became permanently restricted a few hours after appealing for decision. Contacted the chat support, and they say they will forward the case to technical team. There'll be a chance to get the account back. Facebook account is new and made of a follow policies. You don't even run ads at all. Yeah. Okay, now, first thing first. I would say it's not impossible. I've seen cases where, permanent restriction and managed to get it back, but it's not common. Okay. And to me, is this, okay? If you do not need to run ads, just continue to do whatever you need to. You can actually get somebody else to create a page for you, and then you can actually use your profile to come in, because restriction is usually at the ad level. You can always be an admin of a page, and you can post on behalf of a page, comment on whatnot, and managing everything. As long as you do not run ads, your access to everything is fine. You're only not able to access to the advertising functions and features. So if you do not have any plan to run ads, just ignore this and keep going. But if you do want to run ads, okay, I would say don't bother to wait for all this technical support coming back to you and all that. I would say 99% of the time you won't receive a reply from them. So what do we do? Okay, what do we do? We just do whatever we need to do to get our ads up and running again, right? So what you do here is you get somebody else's profile, as in like you cannot use a new profile, yeah? Get somebody else's Facebook profile, you borrow from them, use that to create a new business manager, create a new page, create a new ad account, and start running ads. Yeah, there are certain chances you can actually get your page back to the new business manager, but there are certain steps you need to take, which I really need to see what's your situation right there. But if you do not bother to keep the page, then you can start everything fresh, and we just want to get the ads up and running. That's what I say. I always tell people, look, if that's what you want, then follow these steps and do that. Otherwise, it's fine, right? But if you want me to look at your situation to really tell you where you're at right now, what can you do next? Whether you wait for it or you just start a new one, you can actually scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and we can spend half an hour together to look at your situation. This is bringing you to my Fiverr gig. You got to pay for it. Not a lot. And you can schedule a Zoom call to look into your situation. All right. So that's that. Thank you. And Stardust is asking, in case of page banning, would you suggest to create a new one or a different domain, or with a different domain, or using the same one? It doesn't make a difference. It's okay. For page, you have no issue. As long as your domain is not being blacklisted, there are situations where your domain might be blacklisted from advertising on Facebook. I mean, things happen and we do not know until we test it, right? But anyway, if your banning is not because of the domain, it's okay. You can create the same page with almost identical same name or similar name, put in the same domain, everything is gonna be fine. As long as you're not having a ad account restricted and all that, everything, it's actually fine. So yeah, Stardust, I hope that helps. And last one on here, saying this coming from Tammy Late. Okay, so how can you reach me personally? Your business Facebook account has been disabled. You tried creating a new page, you still couldn't. So open another Facebook profile. To your surprise, it got disabled again. Yeah, I mean, usually when you start a new profile to run ads or to create a new page, 90% of time you'll get it banned right away because Facebook doesn't like that. For some reason, I have no idea why. But anyway, if you want to talk to me, scan this QR code. Then you'll be able to, purchase a gig with a small fee, and we will then be able to schedule a Zoom call to come over to actually go over your situation over there to probably find out what happened to your situation and what are the next best step you should take in order to get your ads up and running again. So yeah, this is the link and do that. Okay, so these are all the questions that I received on my YouTube channel in the past 1 week. So let's come back to some of the questions that you have posted here. So the first one is coming from Junior. How much do you think allow yourself to lose before switching product? This is a very good question. As long as you're comfortable, I have no benchmark to that. Some businesses are willing to spend, 10,000 to find out whether the product is working. Some people willing to spend $100. I mean, nothing right or wrong. Yeah, nothing right or wrong. But I would say if you are running an ad for a new product that you're not sure, let's say if you're doing a drop shipping or whatnot, right? I would advise to actually let the ad run for a while. You do not make decision based on like 3 days data, 2 days data. I usually give it at least a week or two to stabilize the entire campaign. Sometimes it might be longer. That's why, you don't really, get instant result on Facebook advertising as in like, oh, immediately I'm going to get it successful. No, sometimes it's not the case. Even when we are running ads or when we are coaching clients in Facebook advertising, sometimes it might take a week or two at least in order to really find the best combination. But nonetheless, start running ads. That's my best advice to you. And we learn from the data. Okay, that's why I always encourage people to start run ads, no matter what. I mean, set aside some money and test it. And once you have the data, it will tell you a lot more about your campaign, about your product. So if you have really, really low CTR, then definitely your creative is, not working. And you have very good click-through and all that coming to the landing and your people are not buying, that's another situation. So we need the data to tell us what's going on. So start running ads, and once you're ready, you can actually scan this code instead. This is a code that you will, you will be able to book 1 gig to actually, have a half an hour session with me for me to, dissect your campaign, to analyze your campaign, and to tell you my recommendation about the action plan, whether should you continue, whether should you change creative, or should you do whatever tweak, and to see whether you can actually turn it around or something like that. So yeah, this is what you do over there. Okay. So yeah, we have Akram here. How are you? And we have Kevin. What's up? And yeah, Akram is asking, an update to Facebook is changing location targeting by removing a lot of drop-down options for advertisers. Has this an effect on your ads? Facebook is over changing. So no, so far so good, because you need to know what's working, what's not working. And then in fact, we do not use a lot of those so-called very niche techniques and all that. When it comes to advertising, to be frank, all these internal changes about Facebook advertising, removing Facebook ads manager, removing targeting options, certain features and all that, it doesn't really affect. These are normal adjustments that will happen all the time. So yeah, it's fine. Okay. So if you run local ads, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So you have a client, this is coming from Nick Hill, okay, who wants to target Indians living in USA. How can you target? You can target by language, Indian. Yeah, I mean, that's one way. And of course, you can also go broad. You can go by location. There are many techniques. So you can actually test. Yeah, but for those who are actually, wanting to learn more about Facebook audience targeting, I'm actually running a campaign. I mean, this is not a campaign. This is a half an hour training that I'll be doing on coming Thursday. So if you're watching this as a replay that you have already passed 8th of June 2023, you can still scan this QR code, because every other week, like every month, I will do at least 1 or 2 training about certain topics about Facebook advertising and digital marketing, and usually they are open to all for free. So scan this QR code, then you'll be landing on the same page, and you see what's the training that I'll be running next. If you like the topic and you join us, but if you're watching this right now before the 8th of June, this is about audience targeting. The new training, the next training coming up on the Thursday, it's gonna be about audience targeting, and it's happening on the 8th of June at 3 p.m. Malaysia time. You do the conversion. So yeah, this is where I will share with you what's the, like what are the audience targeting options available on Facebook, and certain techniques that I use to like, for example, a lot of people ask me, how do I steal my competitors' customers? I'll be sharing that technique. But of course, this is a more generic training whereby I will be explaining the so-called the differences between different objectives. But so if you have certain confusion about that, you can join this. So this is a recording for my YouTube video anyway. So because I'll be recording anyway, so I open this to anyone who can join me live, because after the training, after the recording, you can ask me questions. So yeah, this is only for those who join me live. You can ask questions. Otherwise, it's gonna be here. Okay, now that's all I have. I guess that's pretty much it. All right, you're welcome, Akram. All right, so anyone who watch up to this, if you need help and say that, I do not want to share with you my question. I just want to ask you personally, can I? Yes, you can. You scan this QR code, then you'll be landed on my Fiverr gig, and buy me a mail. It's a very nominal fee, and we can then spend half an hour together over Zoom call, and you can ask me any questions, right, about Facebook advertising. So that's what we do. So with that, let's wrap this one. Thank you so much for joining me, and that's what I do on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. So if you have any questions, join me live on Sunday night so that we can actually have a good chat like this. All right, thank you so much for everyone who joined me, and I'll see you next week. All right, good night. Bye.